Alright, quickly before this video starts, tell me right off the bat. Don't even think of an answer. Just tell me right away. What is the best knife in the entire game? Don't even think. Just say it. Lock in your answer. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, but if you didn't say the Nebula knife, then you're wrong. Quite frankly, I'm gonna have to ask you to unsubscribe, dislike the video, and comment that you didn't say Nebula knife so I could personally block you. Because we all know Nebula knife is like the best knife in the game. There's no argument there. So I've made enough videos about whining and complaining about Valorant, but I want to address a problem that's really been nudging me the wrong way, if you know what I'm saying. Mob mentality. And I can easily prove that it's affecting you just by saying one thing. Check this out, ready? I personally love the Undercity collection. I have the Classic and the Judge equipped right now, and personally, I don't regret it at all. I love these things. And how much can I bet you a part of you just went, you disgusting human being. You could have picked any skin collection to like, and you chose Undercity? By any skin collection, do you mean Prime or Reaver and nothing else? See, this has always been a pet peeve when it comes to Valorant. Every lobby I join, nobody is unique. If I had $1 for every time I saw someone with the Sovereign Sword, I would actually be able to afford like a Hurricane. Here's a bit of a story. One day, I was just playing Valorant, and I decided to open up my shop, and it was sitting there. The beautiful, the scrumptious Reaver Vandal, which by the way is not necessarily a bad skin. I don't have really anything against it, but I just bought it. Like I didn't even think about it. I just bought it, and I don't even use it. It's just sitting in my locker, not being touched, collecting dust, while I use the Neptune, because personally this is my favorite Vandal skin. It's so cute. I love it. I love the little fish. Plus it has my favorite color on it. So instead of the usual rant video, I'm leaving you guys off with a PSA. Please be in the slightest way creative, because I'm telling you right now, if you have the Oni Phantom, Reaver Vandal, and Sovereign Sword equipped as we speak, you in my opinion lose every opinion on skins. Don't get me wrong, they're not necessarily bad. It's just you chose the safest picks, and yeah, we can't argue with you. These are decent skins. So what are the origins of mob mentality? It kind of started off like this. This mob mentality mindset usually starts when people at the top of the Valorant hierarchy compliment a skin and start using it. As mentioned before, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the Sovereign Sword. The only issue I have is when people buy it just because it's the Sovereign Sword. I hate to be the guy who uses the word cheap mindset, but it's basically how it goes. People just going on with the rest of the herd. But the Sovereign Sword was popularized by Sinatraa. It was one of his favorite knives. My opinion, it just kind of looks like a butter knife. But hey, if that's what he likes, then let him do his thing. He was also seen combining this with the Oni Phantom very often.
When you think of the green Oni Phantom, you think of Sinatraa. He essentially trademarked it. You use it yourself? No, you can't. You're a dick rider.
Which they eventually became his skins. People just see the Oni Phantom and the Sovereign Sword as, well, Sinatra's skins. Now, Tenz is known for popularizing two things, the Reaver Vandal and the Ruin Dagger. And like I said, because of this, I impulse purchased the Reaver Vandal, which, don't get me wrong, is still a really cool gun. It's just sitting in my locker, doing absolutely nothing. But I want to talk about the Ruin Dagger for a second, because the Ruin Dagger, okay, I can't lie, it's pretty cool. Because of Tenz commenting on this knife, it has skyrocketed market value. This was a limited time knife, and you're not allowed to get this anymore. But because of this is the only Battle Pass knife that actually gets any sort of attraction. A Battle Pass knife that really goes under the radar a lot of times was the Velocity Karambit. This is probably the closest thing you could get to just a default Karambit. And I see myself using this all the time because, I mean, it's a Karambit. But a Karambit for $10, that was a steal. People had to pick this up back then. It was just an immediate cop. And like I said, it holds up to this day. Like, I realistically still use this. Anyways, back to what I was saying about the Ruin Dagger. If you were to ask anyone if they brought back any rare knife, what would it be? And you get the answer Ruin Dagger. That kind of brings up my point. That, like, there was a literal Karambit back then. This Artesian Foil is another one of my personal favorite Battle Pass knives, just because of how unique it is. On top of that, it has its own unique right-click animation. You don't see that in Battle Pass knives anymore. Anyways, that was sort of my video for the day. I can bet you right now, if you were to secretly tell Tenz to start normalizing the spline knife, he could do it in like under a week. All he has to say is, you know, I personally really like the spline knife. I think you guys should start buying it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will see you guys another time. See ya. Bye.